Hey, how's it going, guys? Today we're talking about Grayscale. Why do I invest in Grayscale? What you should consider if you want to invest in it, why it might be better than actually buying crypto itself. There's definitely pros and cons to investing in Grayscale crypto trusts versus buying just direct the actual crypto itself, right? So let's go over that and I'll tell you which Grayscale funds that I am personally investing in and why. So they are one of the longest running crypto investment products, right? They're like the OGs of crypto stocks. Before there was all these fancy ETFs, Grayscale was here way before the rest of them. Essentially, all these crypto investment products, and I'm going to go into more detail here in a minute, are offered as trusts, meaning that yes, there is underlying crypto. Grayscale has bought the actual crypto, but the one share of the trust trades either at a premium or discount, just kind of based on market sentiment. And it definitely means you can make a hell of a lot more money buying a Grayscale investment product. So I'm going to give you an example. So when it trades at a premium, it would be worth 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, even 10 times or more. I know it can go to crazy multiples when the market's running hot, everything's going crazy and parabolic. In those moments, shares of these Grayscale trusts can trade, let's say, 10 times or more, maybe even 15 times, depending on the trust. It can really get crazy. On the other hand, when the market's going down or sideways or it's boring, oftentimes these trusts can also bite you in the ass because they'll trade at a discount. Meaning if you, let's say you bought any of these trusts when it was either even trading 1-to-1 roughly, or when it was at a premium. Now if it trades at a discount, even if the price of the crypto asset remained exactly the same, if the share is at a discount, that means that you technically have lost money because the share is trading for less than what the underlying crypto asset is worth. So let's pull up a chart and I'll show you what I mean. So Litecoin, this is one of my larger Grayscale investments, and Litecoin LTCN, Grayscale Litecoin Trust. Here we go. So NAV, net asset value, is exactly what the share of LTCN is worth just based on Litecoin itself. Think of it if it was an ETF. It would be worth exactly $9.52 as of yesterday. All right, but the market price is actually what people are willing to pay for it, what it's currently trading at, and that is 937. So it's pretty close to NAV. However, it is at a very slight discount currently. Buying a share of LTCN is cheaper and a better deal. You're getting a slight bargain versus just buying Litecoin itself. LTCN, the Grayscale Litecoin fund, is technically a better deal than buying Litecoin on its own. So the dark line is the market price. That's, again, based on a discount or premium. And the light blue is the NAV, or what the underlying value is. Okay, so you say we had a crazy markup here in 2020 and 2021. I don't expect that to happen again. You never know, but I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't be holding the shares waiting for this kind of crazy shit to happen again. So in 2024, we did have a slight markup, but still a lot compared to 2021, where, look at this. The NAV was $6.50, market price was $300. I don't ever expect that to happen again. But, something like this is a little bit more, let's say, quote unquote conservative, but that's still a pretty nice markup, where the NAV was $9 and the market price was 47, 9, 18, 20, 36, 40. So roughly, it's a 5x. The market price roughly was 500% more than the actual value of Litecoin, of the actual Litecoin. So that's something like that could happen again. That's still a really nice markup. So that was last year, about a year and a half ago, yeah. So for most of the Litecoin LTC in history, except in the very bear of the bear markets, LTCN usually trades at a premium, meaning it's actually more expensive than the underlying Litecoin. So right now, even though it's a small discount, you're still getting a discount. So why not buy Litecoin LTCN on Grayscale? because when things get heated up again, since July, it's just been doing this coiling up thing, and it looks like it's going to get ready to explode again. It might not go nearly that high, but at least we're at here under 10 bucks. I don't see it not hitting 15 or 20 by the end of the year. Litecoin will at least double from here, if not more. But let's say minimum, just keeping expectations low. When we get into the alt season, probably October, November, December, I don't see how Litecoin isn't going to, what's it now, 115 bucks per Litecoin? Double that would be 230. And this is very conservative. I think it'll be worth more. And if that happens, the Grayscale, when things get heated up, how does it not at least keep pace with Litecoin, if not exceed it? In a nutshell, as long as the NAV is slightly below the market price, it's a no-brainer not to buy LTCN. I've definitely bought some more LTCN recently. I never buy when it's crazy like this high. I would never buy it then. But I also didn't sell, or I didn't sell nearly as much as I should have, because just like anyone, no one knows where the exact top is. And I thought, oh, it's at $46, right? Well, it's going to go hit at least 50. And thinking, all right, why not go a little higher? You always think it's going to go a little bit higher than it really does. The only way is just to start scaling out. No one knows the top, so you know when things are getting toppy. And I should have known, hindsight's 2020, but I really should have known when this shit happens, when the NAV was worth $9 and the market price was over 40. Why would I not sell at least half of at least a good chunk of it, or a third of it, or something? I should have. Now I've learned, and I will next time. But I'm not even going to wait for that to happen, because maybe it doesn't get that high in this bull market. Maybe it only gets up to there. So the market price is double the LTCN NAV, and it's still it's worth twice as much as actual Litecoin. So why not take a good chunk off the table there? Just to be totally safe, to lock in some kind of profit when market price is even 50% higher. So let's say NAV gets back to, let's just call it, it's almost 10 bucks now. Let's say the NAV's at 10 bucks and the market price is 15. Why not sell a little bit then? I'd rather, start selling and make a little bit of profit than hold on to the bag and riding it all the way down again. So that's Litecoin. Now I'm going to go quickly through showing you a few other Grayscale trusts that I invest in and whether I think they're a good deal at the moment. So Bitcoin Cash is very similar to Litecoin. It's also an OG cryptocurrency, one of the oldest, longest running. Bitcoin Cash was launched in 2017 or 2018. So it's been around many, many years. Bitcoin Cash, I believe, I'm going to link to one of Cesar's videos. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, and he talks about Bitcoin Cash a lot. And he's a big fan of it. He thinks, like I do, that it will eventually, in percentage terms, as it has over the last few months, it will continue to outpace Bitcoin over the coming years. And even though Bitcoin is definitely going to go up, but Bitcoin Cash will gain bigger percent. So if you're going to invest in Bitcoin Cash, why not Bitcoin Cash Trust? Okay, so let's look at the market price versus NAV. All right, so the underlying value, NAV, is right around $5 a share. Okay, now the market price, this is as of yesterday, but the market price is only $4.30. So that's a pretty nice discount right there. I've added more to my Bitcoin Cash Trust stack, bchg. You're getting a discount, so why not? Decentraland, you're getting a very nice discount. Now, it's a much smaller market cap coin, 10 million, compared to Bitcoin Cash, which is 234 million. So Bitcoin Cash, although maybe not in the heat of the bull market, will do the same percentage as Mana. It is a much larger market cap, and therefore it won't be quite as volatile, and you can put larger amounts of money in bchg, and same with LTCN, the Litecoin one. So it's close to the Bitcoin Cash, 230 million. Bitcoin Cash is 34, about the same. Mana, with only 10 million, which is relatively small, a few $1,000s, I guess is fine. Any more than that, and you're going to be risking moving the price whenever you're buying or selling. That said, there is an amazing value to Mana right now. Look, the NAV is just over $3, and the market price is $2.20, meaning you're getting a over 30% discount. If you want to buy Mana, Decentraland, when gaming coins move, Mana usually moves around that same time. And it's kind of the OG of all the metaverses. So, like Doge is the OG original meme coin, Mana is the OG metaverse coin. At some point, and it probably won't be till later in the bull market, but at some point, mana is going to spike. And when it does, you better believe me, Decentraland, even if it literally just catches up to the NAV, you're still getting an extra 30, again, I can't do math, 30, 40% just if it catches up to that. At this price, the risk reward is really good, I'm not going to lie. Look, dude, last year it went insane. It spiked to over $50 in market price when the NAV was only 7. Just an 8x based on a NAV. And that's insane. Now, compare it to today, both are under $3, or at least the market price is under $3. So to me, it's a no-brainer. $3 compared to 50. You can just invest whatever, a few $100 now, $1,000, whatever you're comfortable with. Wait till that doubles or triples, take out your initial investment, and then the rest is pure profit and then zero risk to you. That's the way to play something like this that is higher risk, because it goes crazy at the top of the bull market, but it will also crash way harder than the other larger cap Grayscale funds. Mana, it's definitely a game of hot potato, but right now the potato is very cold. If you know what I mean, it's a pretty good time to buy it. Less than a year ago, it was over $20. That's a 10x, literally a 10x from where it is now. Even if it went 5x, even if it just went 5x and it got to $10, I'd be happy with that. I don't have time to cover all of them in this video, but the other Grayscale trusts I invest in are a little bit of Grayscale Ethereum Classic, because there is a huge discount, right? It's over $16 value for the NAV, and it's only trading at 10. If you were going to buy Ethereum Classic, you're getting a huge discount by buying etcg instead of just buying normal Ethereum Classic. That's a really great value. Now, Filecoin, on the other hand, this is a nice one to compare to. Now, Filecoin is already trading at roughly double, not quite, but close to double of the actual underlying value. If I want to invest in Filecoin, and I think Filecoin is another OG DeFi file storage, but it's kind of a DeFi play. That's not a bad investment, but buying FILG, you're already paying almost a 2x premium versus just buying normal file token. So I'd rather just buy the token there. Now, Horizon, it is trading at slightly more. The market price is a little bit more than the NAV, but it's not a significant amount. Here it is, 81 cents to 62. So Horizon is still, I would say it's still investable, but if you want to be safe, you maybe just buy Zen. Zen is also one of my top picks for later in the bull market. It's been boring as hell recently. But when things get moving, I'm not going to go off too on a tangent here, but I will link to one of my earlier videos I've made on why Horizon is such a good investment. But HZen, yeah, it's decent. Again, it's pretty close to the values are pretty close. Now, Stellar Lumens, there is a slight premium to the GXLM versus buying the underlying Stellar Lumens itself. So it's not quite as good of a deal, but this is one of the very few exceptions. I would say Stellar Lumens, GXLM, is still, even at $40, it's still a pretty decent price, just because the ISO 222 compliant coins like XRP and Stellar Lumens being number 2 after XRP are really hot and really popular in this cycle. Premiums, it was more than a 5x premium in 2024, GXLM to Stellar Lumens. And let's look even earlier this year, we're looking at $38 to $54. There's still a much bigger premium at the beginning of this year than there is now. So you're not getting quite the deal as you are with Mana, but just because it's Stellar Lumens, and this might be a benefit to Grayscale, or why people would invest in Grayscale, even though the Stellar Lumens is trading at a slight premium currently, is because there has not been any talk about a Stellar Lumens ETF. As of now, this is the only way. If you want to invest in the stock market and buy Stellar Lumens, Grayscale's GXLM, Stellar Lumens Trust, is the only way to do so. Plus, just the fact that Stellar Lumens, along with XRP, is one of the kind of best blue chips out there right now. I don't see at some point how Stellar Lumens won't go up again, and then at some point outperform Bitcoin again, which it did earlier. When did it do that? Yeah, here in January, right, earlier this year. And then again, it had another spike here in August or so. So if you believe in Stellar Lumens, GXLM also isn't a bad deal. On this video, are you investing in Grayscale? Why or why not? And then join my Discord, introduce yourself, say hi. It's free. It's just a cool way to meet myself and other like-minded investors, share tips and tricks, ask questions. We're all learning from each other there. Some charts being shared there. Just yeah, it's a kind of a nice, small, close-knit community. And because my channel is still pretty small, you'll get direct access to me there. And I do crypto consulting as well. And I'm literally not charging anything, not charging a dime for this, where I've charged up to $100 an hour. The point is, you can ask me any question for free on my Discord. So thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. Have a good one.